Hello everyone, welcome to another Versus video. We're about to battle some sweet standard, I don't even know if I can call this a deck, but...
Action. Some sweet standard action.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, I'm playing an Esper Aggro midrange.
Combo humans.
Against...
And I'm playing a green-red aggro deck from the recent Grand Prix. We didn't do a deck tech on the green-red deck because I have played the green-red deck before in the videos.
Pretty much the same thing.
Exactly the same thing. We do have the previous deck techs. You guys will be able to check them out. Yeah, I think the matchup's going to be pretty interesting. I'm excited to play Domri on 2 every game, and hopefully it just wins.
And hopefully that doesn't happen. But before we even get to that point, it looks like you have some basic lands.
Yeah, we're going to play the basic land game.
Is there a game that goes with them?
So I won again last time with you bricking on your Esper.
Did you have to say again? Could you just say I won last time?
Dude, it was again.
All right,
I have a little bit of a streak. And so, as a custom, even I'll pick.
Okay.
Odd will be random.
All right, random.
Oh, it's going to be random this time. Oh, no, now I can't level you.
It's okay. I've got a new strategy as well.
Really?
So
What's your new strategy?
My new strategy is to trust in the heart of the dice.
Heart of the dice?
The heart of the dice.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
All right, so I can't guess at all. I always get it wrong. So I'm just going to roll a dice. I'm going to start down the old Wooburg train. So 1 is white, 2 is blue, etc.
Okay.
If 6, I'll roll again. So 2, island.
Oh.
All right, not an island. All right, 2. 5, forest. All right. Come on, 1, plains.
Oh, man. Unfortunately.
It's still lost. All right, excellent.
It was a swamp. I will go first. Just no breaks, huh?
Yep. Never win. It's fine. Speaking of never winning, this opening hand can't do that. So.
Ooh. Right. Well, this hand does not really have a lot going for it. I can cast most of my spells if I happen to draw any, with the exception of the dragon. And we do have an accelerant, which means any planeswalker is going to end up being good. So I'm on the play, and I actually think I'm just going to keep this hand. So I'm not happy about it, but I am going to keep it.
We're not going to keep that hand, so. I've kept some greedy ones in my time, but that's just a little too greedy even.
Rats.
We'd have to draw like running lands, and it still wouldn't even be a very good hand if we did. So. All right. I am back for the best 6 I've ever seen. Well, I'm definitely keeping based on those. Yeah, this hand is pretty solid, actually. We have a nice curve out, and we have lands that cast things. So.
What more could you ask for?
Not much.
I'll play Mystic.
Man, Elvish Mystic can't win. All right, so we drew another one of these things, which actually is probably just really bad in this matchup, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and because I want to curve out like 2 into 3, I'm gonna use a scry land on turn 1, and hopefully scry something sweet. We actually just don't want that card. We want more like interactive spells, not creatures. So I'll put that on the bottom. You're up.
All right, so let's draw something sweet. Oh, that is the definition of sweet.
Is that turn 2 Domri?
No. Gosh, no.
All right, we dodged a bullet. We didn't get turn 2 Domri this time.
So I can hold up to cast this, but I kind of want to be able to use it for its bestow. But I actually just don't think that's going to end up being relevant. So I think that I'm just going to play the Mutavault and then pass.
All right. Well, drawing this doesn't change our plan, which is to shock ourselves and cast a Daring Skyjack. And we will pass the turn to you.
All right, well, we're going to play a Boonsider on your end step.
Yep, he's out there. He's doing his boonies.
All right, well, that's a pretty good draw. So I think that So the option is that I can just attack and hold up for this, but I think that I would rather just cast him, since it's probably just going to be bigger than most of his creatures anyways. We do have to be wary of Supreme Verdict, but I think we're fine. I'm going to shock.
Okay.
And then we're going to attack with Boonsander.
I think we're just going to go ahead and trade here. I don't think our Daring Skyjack's going to do a whole lot this game, and I don't want to take 4 damage that I don't need to, so I'm going to go ahead and block and offer the trade.
Alright, so then that gives me the option of just using this as Blood Rush. Now, I didn't consider that he would just snap block here, so it could have been correct to attack with the Mutavault as well, just to get in some extra damage. Let's see, so if I do that now, it'll get in 7 damage. Yeah, I definitely should have attacked with the Mutavault. That was really bad. But I am going to just Blood Rush.
Okay.
And hopefully I don't lose this game with you at 2 life. So 8, so you take 7 and go to 11.
Yep.
And then I'll pass.
All right, and we will draw. I don't think this is great against him, but at the same time, I think it's probably okay. So we could cast this, but I kind of like casting this because it makes it really awkward for him to attack into us. So, unfortunately, we have to shock ourselves again, down to 9. I'm just going to play Zathra Necromancer.
Definitely missing that 2 damage.
You're up.
Alright. Well, we're going to start with the Scry. And we definitely don't want that. So, I don't really think that we can profitably attack here.
I think you attack with just the Elvish Mystic.
Just the Elvish Mystic?
Yep, I like that. It's a strong line.
I'd much rather have a Rampager in play as opposed to this Boonsander right now. But just being able to get in 7 damage seemed like it was just going to be quite a bit of damage there. So I think at this point I just pass.
Okay. Draw. That's interesting. So I feel like the way this game has gone with him not casting anything here and him with like 3 cards in hand, I feel like he probably has some Stormbreath Dragons going on in that hand. So I'm kind of tempted to cast the Sky Knight and detain his Elvish Mystic, just to like keep him off of 5 mana next turn unless he like has another land. Like it's possible that he has just like some Stormbreath Dragons, but he didn't have an untapped land to cast them. I guess it's also possible that he has another land and he just was lacking the second untapped red source. So I'm not entirely sure. We definitely have some options here. Like we can play like one of these 2/3 drops. And then we can also consider shocking ourselves to play this as well, which I don't like that as much because that puts us down to like dead in 2 swings to Stormbreath Dragon instead of dead in 3. And I think I'd much rather be dead in 3 swings. Like that would give us time to draw an answer. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Sky Knight. It is a little bit more aggressive as well too, so we can start to pressure his life total a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and detain the Elvish Mystic.
Yep.
I don't want to attack here with Zathra Necromancer because keeping it back on defense like kind of makes things awkward for him. He can't like send his Mutavault at us very profitably. So we're just going to pass the turn.
All right.
And hopefully we don't get destroyed.
All right, well, that definitely was not the best draw. So I think all we can do at this point is just play the land and pass.
Okay. All right, so it looks like he might just be flooding out pretty savagely. And if that's the case, I think we want to start getting like aggressive and try to win the game before he has a chance to come back into it. We drew this card, which is pretty good actually. Will definitely, make it easier for us to pull ahead. So we're gonna go ahead and attack with our. Let's see. We might consider attacking with the Necromancer as well. Like, he might have another Boon Satyr, but if he did, I assume he probably would have just attacked and bestowed after we blocked. So he probably doesn't. Let's see. I still think, well, yeah, I think we actually do want to get a little bit more aggressive here. So I'm going to cast the Sky Knight and detain the Boon Satyr.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and attack with both of these. So.
Okay. So I think here at this point, I just kind of want to get that Necromancer off the table and save some damage. So I'm going to be able to cast this next turn regardless. And it's, obviously going to die to the 2 Sky Knights, but hopefully it does allow me to draw a bunch of cards. Right, so I'm going to animate the Mutavault.
Okay.
Then I'm going to block the Necromancer.
Okay. We'll get a zombie.
Yep. And I'll go to 15.
And I will follow it up with a Soldier of the Pantheon.
Yep.
Your go.
Alright, so play a land. Alright, we're just going to jam this Garrick.
Okay.
And we'll +1.
Oh, that's definitely drawing a lot of cards.
Alright, so we're going to get 4 dudes. Put the temple on the bottom.
So you have a dragon, a satyr, an ooze, and a mystic.
Yep.
Okay.
And at this point, I feel like I kind of just need to keep my Boon Satyr back.
It's also detained.
Oh yeah, it is detained. I'll pass.
Yep. It is unable to do anything.
Yeah, I had the Garrick last turn. Detaining the
Draw.
Mystic was very good.
Yeah, if I'd known you had Garrick, I would have detained it again, but I did not. Alright, so he's at 15, and he has an absurd number of creatures in his hand that are going to be very difficult to beat. Like, I don't think killing the Garrick actually matters. Because, like, he already has every creature in his hand that he could want. So, I think we have to just try to kill him. And if that's the case, I'm just going to play this Necromancer. And I'm going to attack him with everything.
Okay. Alright, so I don't think that I can... Let's see, is there a way that I can kill him this turn? You have 1 card?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't believe there's a way that I can actually kill him this turn. So I do just want to start soaking up some damage. So I'm going to block the zombie.
Okay, they'll trade off, and you'll take 8. Go to 7.
Yep.
You're up.
Alright. Well, that was actually a fairly good draw. So we'll play a land. Alright, now let's figure out how much mana we can actually generate here. So I can put... Four, Ghosts, Scavenging Ooze. Can put Polykratos into play. So if I cast this, I can then cast an Ooze, cast a Mystic, put Polykratos into play. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I still won't have the mana to actually cast this Stormbreath Dragon. Huh. So...
I like passing the turn and bestowing your Elvish Mystic.
I'm sure you do. Alright, so the goal here is to just try and figure out how to not die this turn, basically. And I don't think that I need to plus Garrick. So I'm definitely going to be minusing to put something into play. So I think that if I just minus the Garrick to put in Polykratos, and then cast a Scavenging Ooze, that will give me enough options to be able to monstrous Polykratos if I need to prevent some damage, as well as use Ooze to gain some life and create a big blocker. So we're just going to cast Scavenging Ooze.
Sure.
Going to minus Garrick.
Okay.
And put Polykratos into play. And I'm actually also going to cast this Elvish Mystic.
Okay.
And then I'll pass the turn. So I think that was probably the best way to play that turn, although we had a lot of options.
All right.
Actually, I don't think I should have cast the Elvish Mystic. That was a big mistake. Not playing the Elvish Mystic plays around Supreme Verdict. If you have a Verdict here, I'm just pretty much dead.
So we can play either of these two cards. I kind of like playing this one a little bit more because it definitely puts us, like, we're not going to kill him this turn or next turn. And I think playing this one definitely puts us in like a better long-term position against him. And it makes it like difficult for him to profitably attack us. So I think that this is what we want to end up doing. And then we can use this the following turn if we need to. So I'm gonna go ahead and send in with these two. Well, actually, yeah, I'll send it with these two.
Alright, so I think I'm safe to just take the 6 here
Okay.
and go to 1.
Okay. Another Necromancer.
Alright.
And I'll pass.
Alright, well, we're going to eat your 2 guys and my 2 guys.
Okay, so you're at 5.
Alright. So here we're going to start out with plusing Garrick. Alright, so Rampager is just what the doctor ordered. I'll put those 2 in my hand. So we can... Alright, he's at 9. Man, the card in his hand is Doomblade. We're going to be quite put out, that's for sure. So, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 14 power. So that adds up exactly. So I can cast Domri, or not Domri, I can cast Xenagos, plus it, gives me 4, 5, Bestow, and an attack. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Xenagos.
Alright, I'm gonna gain a life. Go to 10.
And that just put a wrench in my plans. Oh man. I was forgetting about my own soldier triggers, so obviously I forget about my opponents as well.
He's out there doing things. He's doing some things.
That is actually going to be... I think it's still going to be fine. Right, so we're going to +1.
Okay, so you have 4 mana.
So 4.
5.
5. We're going to bestow the Boon Satyr here.
Sure.
And then I'm going to go to combat.
Sure.
And I'll attack with both of these.
Let's see. Oh, let's put that guy there. And these 2 guys here.
Alright, well, I'm going to rampage her.
Okay. So, let's see, that's 14. Yeah, it's 10. Yeah, it's game.
Yeah. It was exactly 9 without having to attack with the Polykranos, and then I cast the Xenagos.
Alright, we are back for the second game. We are still pre-boarded, and I will be on the play. And this is... Yeah, this is a good old 6-lander, so we're shipping that one back.
Well, I'm going to mulligan mine. I have 3 mountains and a bunch of spells that I can't cast.
Awesome. Alright, both of us on 6.
I feel like that's got to favor the Elvish Mystic deck, right?
This hand's pretty good. Yeah, probably, but this hand is pretty good. So,
oh, man.
If we draw another black source, this hand is amazing. As it stands, though, we have a pretty solid curve out, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to keep.
This hand has the potential to be a trap, but even 1 more land will make this hand still fairly good. And even with only 1 land, we still have 2 spells that we can cast, so I'm going to keep it.
Okay. Soldier of the Pantheon out there.
Uh-oh.
Trying to do his soldiery things.
Alright, well that was a good draw. we're going to start out with an Elvish Mystic.
Yep.
And then I'll pass.
All
You
right.
always got the Mystic.
Always has it. I think we're fine with this trade if he wants to make it, just to keep him off of like playing bigger stuff early. So I'll go ahead and attack for 2.
18.
And I will shock myself down to 18 and play a Daring Skyjack. You're up.
So daring. The Jack is in the skies. Alright, so now we draw. We're going to scry.
Okay.
It was just like the perfect land to draw on turn 1. And, oh. So... I can ship this to the bottom and be greedy. Or I can keep it and still be able to play spells, but just a turn off. And I think we're going to play it safe, and I'm going to keep it on top.
Okay.
Then I'll play an ooze and pass.
Sure. All right. Draw. So... we can play this, which lets us get this out the following turn. I kind of like that. Or we can play this and this. And I kind of like that a little bit less, because I think this card's still going to be good a couple turns from now. Whereas I definitely just want this next turn. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and send with both of these. I'm willing to trade either of these creatures for Scavenging Ooze.
So, I definitely like having the Scavenging Ooze. We have 4 cards.
Yep.
But I think that we kind of just want to get to the point where we're casting these spells, and these will also help us get there. So I'm just going to block the Skyjack with my Scavenging Ooze.
Okay, take 2.
And I'll go to 16.
And I'm going to play a Temple of Deceit and Scry. Yeah, we definitely don't want that card at all. So that one's going straight to the bottom. And you're up.
Now I'm actually going to block the Soldier and not the Skyjack, now that I think about it.
Okay.
So I'll take an extra point and go down to 15. And the reason I do that is because I want this card to be live. Still getting used to you having the 3/1 flyer in your deck. It's not a normal card, but I want this card to be live to be able to get maximum value. Alright, so we draw for our turn. It's a Temple that we left on top. And it's another good one. So we're going to keep it there.
Okay.
And then I will pass the turn.
Alright. Draw a card. This is a pretty good one too, actually. I have a feeling that's going to be good in a few turns. So he probably has... he probably wants to use his Elvish Mystic next turn. So again, I'm fine just sending in our Daring Skyjack and offering a trade. If he wants to make the trade, I'm okay with that. So we'll go ahead and send him on in. If he wants to flash in a Boon Satyr as well and trade there, I'm okay with that as well.
Alright, so I think that... I just want to flash in a Boon Satyr.
Okay.
And then I will block.
Okay, no trade. And I'm going to shock myself down to 16 and play Desecration Demon. You're up.
Alright, well, that guy is quite a problem.
He's out there. He's doing some things he likes to do.
Yeah, he likes to do some stuff.
Desecrating being one of them.
Alright, so we're going to play as Xenagos.
Okay.
And we're going to make a Satyr.
Okay.
And then we'll pass the turn.
Alright. Draw a card. Not a great one for us, but it's fine. I'm going to go to combat and trigger the demon.
I'll sacrifice the Satyr.
Alright. So we can play this, or we can play this. I don't think. Whoa. I don't think this guy does too much right now. So I think I'd rather just play this and make our demon live. So we'll go ahead and Detention Sphere Xenagos.
All right.
And I'm going to play a Hallowed Fountain and pass to you.
All right. Well, demon is definitely a huge thorn in our sides.
Is he a huge thorn, or is he like a small thorn? I don't know.
Oh no, he's pretty huge.
He's not that big.
All right. So here, the best we can do is just play a Domri.
Okay.
Plus it up. Let's see what we got. And we got a man.
Polykranos.
And then we'll attack you for 1.
All right. I will be at 15.
And it's your turn.
All right. Draw. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to draw. I will enter my combat step.
Okay.
All right. So now we have to decide: do we attack him or do we attack Domri? And so he's at 15. If we attack him, it's for 7. Put him at 8. I think we actually
I think
attack.
you should just pass.
We probably don't pass. I mean, I could block that Elvish Mystic, soak up 1. It's actually pretty tough here. I think we attack him. That could be wrong, but we're going to the dome. So we'll put him at 8, and then old Big Daddy coming home. We'll drop opposite that. So we go to 17, and
You really contemplated
go to 6.
attacking Mia or Domri with an Obsidian in hand?
I mean, yeah.
I think it's not even close.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like not even close.
all right. I mean, sure. That's fine. I'll exile it. Go. I think it is close.
Like, you just don't care about Domri at this point.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's true at all.
All right. So we're going to plus Domri.
Oh, a creature that gains life.
I'll get a scavenger.
Maybe I should have killed the Domri.
Yeah. Still don't think I'm being Obsidian.
I mean, whether or not you are, I think it's a reasonable consideration.
So let's so unfortunately I believe that I have to shock myself here. Which puts me dead to a lot, but that is just where we're at.
Yep.
And I'll pass.
All right. Obstacle comes back. 19 to 2.
Dose. You just gonna kill me with another Obsidian?
Nope. All right. Combat demon.
Well, I have to sacrifice 1. And I think that it just has to be this Elvish Mystic.
All right. Well, I don't think attacking here is very wise, considering he's at 2 life, and I don't really want to trade my Obsidian for his Polykranos. So I'm going to not attack. We're going to play a Necromancer, and I'm going to scry. And that Hallowed Fountain is straight to the bottom. And then end of tournament exile Obsidian. You're up.
All right. So we're going to need to get lucky here with some of our draws. 6, 7, 8. Huh. So I need to get this Desecration Demon off the board, and I have to start gaining life with my Scavenging Ooze. So the option that I have here is, so I don't think that I want to attack with this Polykranos yet. So I think that I just want to plus the Domri and cast this from my hand, and then just be able to gain some life here so that I don't die. So we'll plus Domri.
Okay.
And it's a dragon. Just hitting on all cylinders here.
Yep.
So well, that might change things. I can cast the dragon. The dragon makes it so that his Obsidat just can't attack anymore. Still need to get rid of that demon somehow. Honestly, not sure how it's going to happen, but I think I still just want to pass the turn. Go ahead.
Alright. Obsidat's going to come back in. Trigger.
We're going to eat a Skyjack.
Alright. So you get a 3, then 1. I got a 21.
Yep.
Draw a card. And I am going to enter my combat step.
I will cast a Boon Satyr.
Okay.
And second to the demon.
Okay. So again, I can attack with Obsidat here and trade with Polykranos. But I'm not sure that I really want to do that. With him at 1. Although he will go to 3 at the end of turn of Scavenging Ooze. So maybe I do want to do that. And then just try to rely on Desecration Demon to finish the job, but I think that that's not really a guarantee either. I think I'd rather keep the Obsidat at this point, because that forces him to leave blockers back as well for Obsidat. So yeah, we're not going to attack, and I'm just going to scry again, and ship that to the bottom. And in a turn, I'm going to blink out Obsidat.
All right, we're gonna get one of your guys and one of my guys.
Okay, so you're at 3.
Draw. All right. So I've got 3 more dudes. All right. So I think here that I want to plus the Domri.
Okay.
It's not a creature.
Not a creature. It's pretty unlucky to brick.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can make my Scavenging Ooze an 8 power. Don't really know how I go about this. We have to find some way to win in the next couple of turns, even if I were to stem this bleeding from Demon and Obsidat. so I think that I have to just play this dragon. And then sacrifice the Polykranos to the demon. Yeah, I think that's going to be the right call.
Okay.
I'll play Stormbreath Dragon.
Okay.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Alright, Obzak comes back. 23 to 1.
I'm sure there are multiple lines that I could be taking this game. I'm just not sure which ones are correct.
And I will enter combat.
So I think here that I just want to be able to block the demon with my Stormbreath Dragon, but if he drew a Doomblade here, I'm just kind of out of luck. However, even if I tap down the Stormbreath Dragon, if he has a Doomblade, I'm still dead regardless. So combat's fine.
Okay. So he has a 5/5, which can become a 6/6 ooze, so we can't attack with Obsidat. And same thing with Necromancer, we can't really attack with either of those. So I think we just have to send just the demon here.
I'll block.
Okay. Now we drew this, which is kind of awkward. We are at 23, but he can ultimate Domri next turn. We have to make sure we're not just dead to that. So he can eat like 4 creatures, put his ooze to a 9/9. That's 18 damage. Plus the Polykranos. Like, I think we were actually just unfortunately dead to the Domri ultimate, which means we probably have to cast this, as awkward as it is. Yeah, because he makes his ooze. Yeah, we're just dead to it. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we just have to cast the Supreme Verdict. I'll get a zombie.
Alright, so we will eat my Mystic and gain a life.
Alright.
Go to dose.
And I will pass the turn. So we have to hope that he doesn't kill us and that we can draw either another Obsidat or something else to just seal the deal.
Alright, so I definitely want to make an emblem with Domri here. And then I think I just play this and make a Satyr and hope for the best. So we're going to emblem our Domri.
Okay.
And this is going to give our creatures hexproof, which will be good. I'll play a Xenagos.
Okay.
We will make a man.
So it's haste, trample, double strike?
Yeah, double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste.
Yep.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Alright, well, we need to draw
Obsidat.
No, that's not it.
I think Whip would be fine for you too here, right?
Yeah, Whip would be fine. Go.
Alright, well that's good news for us.
Yeah, any Obsidat, any Whip definitely wins for us. I feel like a Lee of Skynet would be pretty good as well.
Alright, so I can do this, make a guy, and attack, try and get some damage in, and I think I'm just going to do that. Alright, so we're going to go 4 here, 4 to you.
Alright, 19.
We'll make a man attack for 8.
Alright, 11.
Go ahead.
Alright, that's game.
Jeez.
Alright, we are back for the sideboard. I'm not entirely sure how to sideboard in this matchup. There's so many cards that are kind of unique to this deck, and I feel like you can like hamper yourself so much in sideboarding. Like if you know, have too many creatures and too many Supreme Verdicts, or like, you know, not enough creatures and too many removal spells or stuff. I feel like sideboarding is pretty tough with this deck, and probably the hardest thing about playing this deck is just how to sideboard. So I'm going to actually cut Supreme Verdict and Necromancers and whip, and I'm not 100% sure on whether this is right. Like, it seems weird to cut Supreme Verdict, but his deck has just so many Planeswalkers that I actually don't think it's that good against him. I'd rather rely on like spot removal spells along with like some of my efficient creatures to get the job done rather than Supreme Verdict. Like, as we saw in that second game, if Supreme Verdict was a Doomblade, I would have won the game.
Yeah. Well, if you would have had Doomblade at any point in that game,
yeah,
you would have been able to push through.
Yeah, exactly. So that was definitely kind of awkward to have to Supreme Verdict away my own Obstat with him at 1 life. But I think it was like a necessary play. But I don't even want to be put in that position, so I don't want Supreme Verdict. And then Necromancer I think is like my worst creature against him, because the way his deck plays out, like he just kind of builds up to an overwhelming endgame.
Yeah.
He's not like we're not like trying to grind each other out here. So having a 2/2 for 3 with like marginal upside just is not at all where I want to be. And same thing with Whip of Erebos. He has like Scavenging Ooze to make Whip pretty bad, and he also, there's not a lot of situations where like the lifelink is that relevant, because generally speaking, I'm not like hitting with a lot of creatures, and if I am, it's usually not a situation where like we usually don't get into like any kind of race situations. Usually one person's just so far ahead.
Yeah.
Either from like a demon or an Obsidat on my side, or like him with like a Polykranos or a Scavenging Ooze or some Planeswalkers. So
yeah.
I don't think these cards are where I want to be. Thoughtseize, Doomblade, Pay No Heed, and Far and Away. I definitely want Thoughtseize. He has a lot of Planeswalkers and a lot of annoying cards. It's also good just stripping like a Clan Defiance, or like, you know, something just
or
sitting in his hand.
Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah, like a Stormbreath Dragon, or he has a lot of expensive cards that are scary. Doomblade, pretty obvious. We definitely just want more removal spells. And same with Far and Away. I think Far and Away is worse, but I still like it. And then Pay No Heed I think is good against both Polykranos and Mizium Mortars to just counter those cards.
You also can use Pay No Heed to make the creature that's fighting with Domri not deal damage as well.
Yeah, that's
which is kind of sweet. Like, all right, well, your guy dies, you lose counters on your Domri, and I get to keep my creature.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get value out of this card if we draw it.
Absolutely. As far as my sideboarding, I'm cutting the Clan Defiance and the Boon Satyrs, just not really happy with the 2 cards. Clan Defiance, in theory, seems cute since he does have like 3/1 flyers and demons, but I think that I would just much rather be casting some of the other cards that are going to be better against them. I really like Bow. It allows me to kill his Sky Knights, gain some life, make my creatures bigger, or it allows me just to like attack with all my guys through Desecration Demon. It's just not a giant brick wall anymore. Same thing with Chandra. It allows me to attack through a demon, but it's also good against this deck in particular because all the creatures are like have 1 toughness.
Yeah, definitely.
Destructive Revelry, I feel like Detention Sphere is like the main way that he's going to be able to interact with my Planeswalkers, which will just be able to take the game over, and I want to have an answer to it. I also want this in case he happens to keep Whip in. I can see that he's taking it out, but I imagine most of the time these types of decks, people don't put Whip and Obstat in their deck to sideboard out the Whip. So I think a lot of people will keep it in even when it's right to take it out. And then just Mizium Mortars is another removal spell. There could just be draws where he just plays out a bunch of 3/1s and then I get to kill them all. So.
Oh, you mean I get to Pay No Heed it? Yeah.
Let's hope not.
All right, we are back for game number 3, first post-board game, and I'm on the play. Oh man, this hand's real bad. Like, I think we keep this hand, but I'm not happy about it. We only have these 2, and if we just draw more lands, we're just gonna lose pretty badly. But we do have a temple to help fix our draws, and the upside is that if we do draw some spells, our hand's actually just very good. So I think I do keep, but I'm not like super excited about it.
I'm going to keep mine as well. I'm also not super excited. I have some castable spells, and we need a couple live draws to to see if we can get there. But it definitely is a keepable hand.
Okay, I'm gonna start out by scrying, and I think this card's probably pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on top. You're up. If he has another turn 1 Mystic, it's actually not good for us. But
Go.
All right,
Did
thankfully
not have a turn 1 Mystic.
Thankfully we dodged the Mystic there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shock ourselves with a Watery Grave. We're down to 18, and I'm gonna play an Imposing Sovereign. And you're up.
Oh no.
Imposing Sovereign making a rare appearance.
Yeah, Imposing Sovereign's very good. All right, we'll play our land and a Caryatid, and then I'll pass.
He's in there, tapped. Draw. Okay, so this is a pretty good draw for us. We could just blow this here. And since the lands he played were Forest, Mutavault, I actually think I do want to do that. Since it seems like he probably needs that. Generally speaking, well, like he led with a Forest, which means he doesn't have a dual land, or he would have led with it. And then playing a Mutavault on 2. Usually Mutavault doesn't get led with unless your opponent doesn't have other lands to play, or is looking to attack with it. So I think we want to go ahead and blow this just to hopefully set him back on mana and give us a chance to get ahead. So we're gonna attack for 2.
18.
And I'm gonna shock myself.
Getting Wade.
Yeah, I'm gonna shock myself again and away you.
All right.
You're up. So I'm at 16. He is still winning the race though. We're racing Imposing Sovereign with our own mana base.
I am still winning the race.
It's important.
All right. So we are going to shock ourselves. And then I'm going to play a Scavenging Ooze, and I'll pass the turn.
Okay.
And Imposing Sovereign's real good.
Draw. Alright, well, we're going to start by playing a Temple to see what we have coming up for us. I don't think we want this. I don't think we want this card because it's not very. This card's pretty good early in the game, but I don't think it's that great at this point in the game when he has a Scavenging Ooze in play. So I think we're going to put that on the bottom, and we're definitely going to attack with our Imposing Sovereign.
14.
And then we're going to play a Cartel Aristocrat and pass the turn.
All right. Well, we're going to eat the Caryatid.
15.
And we'll draw for our turn. And that is a decent draw. It doesn't do much right now. But we'll play our land. You have 2 cards?
I have 3.
3 cards?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so I think that I just want to play this, but I am going to attack first.
Alright, we're not going to block. So we're at 13.
And then I'll play a Paul Kranos and pass the turn.
Okay. Alright, and we will draw. Yeah, it's actually not bad. We're definitely doing a lot of damage to ourselves, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize you.
Wow. I got a grip.
Oh, God. Alright, well, we just have to hope he doesn't draw another red source for Chandra. I don't think we can take that. So it's one of these 3. I don't think it's Xenagos because we have Imposing Sovereign, so I'm not too worried about Xenagos. So I definitely think it's either Scavenging Ooze or Gore Clan. And I think based on the way this game is going, it's probably the Gore Clan Rampager since we're at 11. And he definitely has a lot of pressure going on now. So And I think we also want to keep up the pressure ourselves. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take... I guess next turn he can cast the Inagos as well. But yeah, I think I have to take Gorkland Rampager. So you have Ooze,
Okay.
Chandra, and Xenagos. Alright. I'll send for 4.
11 all.
I'll play this, taps, and I'm going to Detention Sphere Polychronos.
Alright.
Since we cannot afford to lose our Imposing Sovereign. You're up.
Alright, so a red source here would be nice. How lucky. Here and at you.
I'll give this protection from red.
Sure. We'll eat your sovereign and then attack for 4. So 12 to 7.
I'm actually at 6. Chandra hit me as well.
Oh yeah, I missed the Chandra damage. Go ahead.
Draw. Yep, we're actually just dead. So.
Oh man. Did you keep, was it 4 or 5 lands?
It was 5.
What were the 2 spells?
Sovereign Cartel.
Sovereign Cartel. With 2 Scrylands or 1 Scryland?
Just 1.
I think that's fine.
Alright, we are back again. Hopefully this one will go a little bit better. 6 and 7. Okay. Yeah, this hand's pretty good. Unfortunately, our curve is a little awkward because we have 2 temples, so that's going to make our curve a little awkward. But the hand is pretty good, so I'm definitely going to keep it.
So this hand definitely has potential. You know, we do have to get lucky a little bit and draw a couple more good cards. But we do have some castable spells, and I'm going to keep.
Alright, so I can either lead with a temple to set up this on turn 2, or I can just lead with this on turn 1. I like leading with this on turn 1 because if we draw an untapped land, we can play this anyway. And even if we don't, I think that we're actually getting more damage out of leading with this than we are by waiting and then playing this. So I'm going to go ahead and shock myself and play Soldier of the Pantheon. You're up.
Alright. Go.
Alright. And did not draw the land, so we'll go ahead and send in for 2.
18.
I'm going to go ahead and scry. I think we want this card. I think it fits in pretty well with our curve, so I'm going to leave that on top. I think that's going to be a good one for us. You're up.
Alright. Ooze go.
He's in there.
You scooze, you lose.
Alright, same as before. I'm fine just trading Soldier of the Pantheon for his Scavenging Ooze, so I'm willing to attack for 2 here.
16.
Alright, I'm going to play a Daring Skyjack, and I'm going to scry. Oh, man. Alright, well, I think we're going to keep this one, even though we can't cast it, because this is one of our best cards, if not our best card against him. So I think we want to keep it. We definitely can't play it next turn, but we can play it hopefully later on this game. Here you go.
Alright, so we've been drawing some blanks, which I think's isn't too bad. But I think what we want to do here is so I can just play this in plus, and it runs the risk of dying if he has a removal spell, but I think that it's just our best option at the moment, so we're going to shock.
Okay, you're at 14.
Domri.
Sure.
And I'll plus the Domri.
Sure.
And I get a Caryatid. And it's your turn.
Alright, so we know we're drawing this, which we can't play, but we can play this, which is pretty sweet right now. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to play a Sky Knight. We're going to detain his Scavenging Ooze, and then we're going to kill his Domri. And we'll pass back to you.
Alright. We will scry.
Good. And I forgot to gain a life. But
And I'll keep that on top. Oh, you did. Ha! That's okay. I think I've still forgot 100 more times than you.
actually, that's the first time I've ever forgotten, but could be wrong.
We're going to play our Caryatid.
Okay.
And I cannot attack with my Scavenging Ooze, so I will pass.
All right. Draw.
So a demon here would be very bad for us.
All right. Well, we did not draw a land. So we can either use either of these two spells, and I kind of like using this because it's a little bit more mana efficient for us, and it still leaves us with access to these two. So I think I want to play this, and then get in with everything. And he's definitely going to block with his Sylvan, but we still get to hit him for 6. So we're going to go ahead and cast a Detention Sphere.
Alright.
On your ooze. Thankfully, no creatures in the graveyard. And then we're going to attack with these guys and get the old battalion on during Skyjack.
I'll block, take 6, and go to 8.
And going to go ahead and pass the turn.
Alright, so a land here would be nice. Hey, ask and you shall receive.
Oh no. You getting Mizzing Mortared?
No.
Okay.
It'd be nice though.
That would be bad.
Alright, so I can just cast this, which will prevent some damage. But I think that I just want to cast this and leave this up, which will, like, it'll make me take a little more damage now, but it will actually give me a decent shot at being able to win the game. So, play Paul Kratos,
Yep.
and then I'll pass the turn.
Alright, draw. Alright, well, again, we did not draw a land, but I think that's a pretty good one for us anyway. We're just going to go ahead and Doomblade his Polychronos.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So now, even if he has like a Destructive Revelry for Detention Sphere, he's still at best just trading with Soldier of the Pantheon with the Scavenging Ooze since he doesn't have the mana to also activate it. So we're going to send with everything and trigger Battalion.
Yep, well, I do have a Revelry for the Detention Sphere. Although, do I want to block here first? So if I block here first and then do it, 6 go to 2, and he has all his creatures. Yeah, I'm actually going to, I'll Revelry.
Okay. So I dropped to 16.
17, I won't let you forget.
Oh, thank you.
And then I'll block.
Alright, so you go to 2.
Yep.
Soldier down. You're up.
Alright.
Alright, don't Mizzing Mortar us, bro.
Oh, I don't have a Mortars, but I do have a Dragon.
Okay.
And I'll pass. And I'm dead.
Alright.
Alright, we are back for the final game 5. I'll be on the play. Maybe this time I'll have a turn 2 Domri since that hasn't happened yet.
I don't think you've needed it, to be honest, so.
Well, it's not looking like it. And this hand isn't too spectacular, but we do have this to help filter, and we have a decent curve, and I feel like being a little crazy, so I'm going to keep it.
Alright, our hand's pretty good. We are lacking a certain color of mana, but we do have a Temple to Scry, and if we do hit that color, our hand is pretty solid curve out, so I'm fine with it.
Alright. we will start off with Scry, and that will go right to the bottom.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with a Soldier of the Pantheon. You're up.
Deal. Draw a card. That one's still pretty good. Alright. I play a Mutavault and a Caryatid and pass.
Yep. That brick sold Soldier Boy pretty good. All right. Well,
He's no Superman.
we're going to go ahead and scry with our Temple, and that does not produce the color of mana we desire. So we're going to ship that one to the bottom and pass the turn back.
Alright. Well, that's a pretty good one. So I could just run this out there, which I think is what I want to do, to be honest. So I'm just going to play a Kratos and then pass.
Okay.
And then I'll be able to play these two next turn if I want to.
All right. Well, we didn't hit the mana, unfortunately. I'm gonna shock myself down to 18, and Thoughtseize you down to 16.
Alright, well you get a Dami Raid or a Scavenging Ooze.
I think. I think we have to take the old Domri there. So he's a Stomping Ground, a Forest, and an Ooze. Now I could wait on my Doomblade, but if I do so, he can Monstrous in response and kill my Soldier. So we're going to kill that guy right now and then get on in for 2.
18.
And you're up. So now we're hoping to draw some lands.
Alright. Well, that was a good one. We're going to shock and get in there with the dragon.
Alright.
And I didn't need to shock because I have a Caryatid. Didn't realize that until afterwards. I'll put you at 12 and go.
Alright, this is where drawing that land would be pretty sweet. It is a land. It's not the one we were hoping for. Alright. So we know his hand is a Forest and an Ooze. I don't think... we just have to play this Demon. We're going to play it second main phase. I don't think I want to attack with Soldier. I want to hold it back to block Mutavault in case that thing enters the fray. So we'll pass the turn.
Alright.
And our plan is to force him to have to sacrifice a creature every turn to our Demon. Or not be able to attack with Stormbreath Dragon.
You have 3 cards?
Correct.
Alright. So we want to be able to get to a point where we can Monstrous the Stormbreath Dragon. So we need 7 mana. We want to be able to keep the demon tapped and still get in damage. So I think... if he had a removal spell for the dragon, he would have just used it. Yeah, so I think that what we actually want to do here is... I don't want to play this. I want to play this instead. To, help mask what we actually drew. So I'm going to play a Scavenging Ooze.
Cut.
I'm going to eat my Polykranos.
17.
Get a little bit of value. We'll go to combat, trigger
Sure.
your demon, sacrifice the Ooze.
Cut.
And then attack you for 4.
Alright, we're at 8.
And then I will pass the turn.
Okay. How about a land? Well, that is not it.
So So this line we're taking is very aggressive and hoping our opponent has nothing.
Yeah, it seems to be working. So we can attack with our demon because he's probably not going to stack anything to it, but that's just very loose since we don't have a way to finish the job. So I think we have to just pass the turn again.
Alright, well, we have the land for the monstrous. And you have 4 cards?
Correct.
Alright, so if I monstrous my dragon and then sack my Caryatid to his demon, then he can use far and away. Well, he could use the away part of far and away and make me sack my dragon. But it is possible that I also could just monstrous the dragon here, get in some damage, and then if he wants to trade his demon with my dragon, I'm probably going to be fine with that. If that's the case, I think I want to wait for his turn to monstrous. Yeah, so I'm actually just going to pass the turn.
Alright.
I think that's going to be right. And then just monstrous in his draw step. I'm not under a lot of pressure. I don't have to take any unnecessary risk and try to kill him now.
Alright, at the end of your turn, I'm going to make you sack creature. So our hope was to try to blow him out if he went for the kill, but he did not. So I think that was our best chance, considering our hand is really bad.
Alright, so we will monstrous the dragon in response.
Alright, we take 3, go to 5.
And then I'll sack the Caryatid.
Sure. And draw. Alright. I will cast Daring Skyjack. And I will go to combat. And I'll pass the turn.
Alright, well we will go to combat.
Sure.
Trigger the demon.
Sure.
Activate Mutavault.
Sure.
Sack the Mutavault to the demon.
That's game. Yep. I needed another land for this or any blue
Sky Knights.
source. Yeah. Although, I mean, neither of those cards deal with the demon. Or with the dragon. So.
Yeah.
Alright, we're here for the conclusion. I think the matchup's actually kind of close, even though, like, it was 4-1. I think it's actually a little bit closer than that. Like, game 2, I think I probably win most of the time. Barring like your Domri's hitting every time and me not drawing anything.
Yeah, it definitely felt like in a lot of the games they were very close, and it just came down to I drew one more relevant card than you did, and you just bricked a couple turns.
Yeah,
It definitely felt like there was a lot of play to the matchup, and sometimes you just got to get a little lucky.
yeah. I mean, I think it was like I do think the green deck's a little bit favored. Like a lot of my cards just aren't that good against you. Like for example, a lot of the ones I cited out, like Zathra Necromancer and Whip and stuff, just like are not very exciting in the matchup. Still though, I think that like I do have a lot of powerful cards though. Like Desecration Demon is a huge beating. I actually lost both the games I had Demon, but I don't think that was the fault of Desecration Demon. It just so happened that was like basically everything that I had, and it wasn't enough. But
well, Demon, it puts you in a position to where if you draw one of many cards in your deck, you just win the game on the spot. Yeah. And I think that's like one of the only cards that can actually do that. Yeah,
like it makes like Desecration Demon makes every removal spell better, like every other aggressive creature better, etc.
Yeah.
I really like the Demon a lot. I think might be worth playing a 4th Demon.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Demon's probably one of the best cards in the deck. I've always really liked Desecration Demon a lot. A lot of people never liked it that much in mono black. I always thought it was one of the best cards in the deck. It just does so much. It just puts your opponent under so much pressure. And even in scenarios where like they're sacking creatures to it and still hitting you, like that doesn't mean Demon's bad. That just means like, you know, their draw was so far ahead of yours that they were capable of being able to do that.
Yep.
You know, it's like, you know, any creature probably loses in those kinds of scenarios.
Yeah, and even when you get into those situations, like it's still putting you in that position to where if you draw a Doomblade or if you draw Far and Away or a Detention Sphere, you get to take the advantage, and then it's very hard to come back from it once you're getting steamrolled by the demon.
Yeah, like in that last game, like if you didn't have like both Mutavaults, or if I had an actual spot removal spell like Doomblade or Ultimate Price, you know, I could have let you sack multiple creatures to my demon, still killed your Stormbreath Dragon, and then the game would have been completely different.
Then just cleaned up with a 9/9.
Yep, pretty much. So, yeah, I like Demon a lot. What were your thoughts on the green-red deck?
I really like the green-red deck. It's similar to John Stern's list that you got to beat up on in Louisville.
Yep.
But no Tuskers, Rampagers instead, and I think that's probably better right now. I know so far in this format there's been this big stigma of the black decks being powerful, Hero's Downfall, and so we just kind of stopped playing Rampager and the green-red decks for fear of getting blown out. But now that we're at a point where like the white-based aggressive decks are getting more and more popular, Rampager becomes a better card. Plus, a lot of people are just afraid to play it as a 4/4 trample, and most of the times that's right. So I think that Rampager is very good. I definitely would like to see Plummet somewhere in the sideboard. I think the Plummet's a very good card against Desecration Demon and Nightveil Spectre, which are, you know, two very popular and very good cards.
Yeah, I think Plummet's like one of the best green sideboard cards in the format right now.
Definitely. But I do like the green-red deck. I think it has a lot of potential for people that are playing in like any IQs or PTQs this weekend after Christmas. I definitely would recommend the green-red deck if, you know, that's your style. If you're lucky with Domri, this is definitely the deck to play.
I do like one thing about Rampager is it's better the less people expect it, and right now no one expects it because no one's playing it.
Yeah.
So I actually think that Rampager just becomes a lot better as a result. Again, just because like you are actually going to blow people out because they're not playing around it.
For sure.
So like, especially in situations where like, you know, if you have 5 mana open, they'll be like, oh, Boon Satyr, you know, and respect that kind of a trick. But if you only have like 2 mana open, they may not respect anything and just like go for a trade where like a Gore Clan can just blow them out.
Definitely. I also like how this is different from like the green-red Devotion decks, where those decks are just much more reliant on Voyaging Satyr, Burning Tremissary, or Nykthos, where, you know, 1 or 2 Thoughtseizes can just completely ruin your entire game plan. But this deck, you know, and any creature can become a good threat, where we have Scavenging Ooze gets big, Boon Satyr can enhance any of our smaller creatures, and then we have Polykranos and Dragon, which can just win the game all by themselves.
Yeah. So like the deck's full of so many like you're saying, like every threat's like good on its own.
So you're not getting destroyed by Thoughtseizes.
Yeah, you don't need like a critical mass of cards to combine with each other to do something. You can just play your cards and have them do something on their own. Yep. It's pretty important. One thing I want to say about this deck is I was like very impressed with Leo Sky Knight.
Yeah.
I think that card's very good. About the Esper deck as a whole, like I don't know if the deck's actually good. Like playing one match doesn't tell you the full story.
For sure.
But I do like some of the things that it has going for it. Sky Knight and Desecration Demon being 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I think that there's definitely room for something here. I'm not sure what it is, but I definitely think that Sky Knight definitely has a place. I know that Sky Knight was very good in block constructed, which is also where Nightveil Spectre was very good. Nightveil Spectre made the switch over to standard. Not surprised if Sky Knight ends up being a big player moving forward.
Yeah, that's one takeaway that I would have from it is like, where can we apply Sky Knight somewhere else? Like, is it playable in the blue-white deck? Is it playable in Esper decks? You know, could the Orzhov or Boros aggro decks switch to Azorius, where you get to fit Sky Knight in? Like, there's a lot of different possibilities, and Born of the Gods will be out very soon, and we will have a blue-white Scryland, which will make a lot of things possible.
Definitely, yeah, and yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how like this evolves from this point on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot of the cool like tricks that this deck can do, but I still think we're able to showcase some of the things it can do. So definitely an interesting deck. I think it's definitely a brain teaser if you want to try to figure out like how to sideboard or how to build it. Like even I think there's a lot of room for different builds. So I'd definitely give it a try if it's something that you're interested in. I have no idea if it's great, like a good deck or not, but it's definitely something that's fun, and you get to play odds of that, so can't go wrong with that.
One thing I do want to say, though, I played the deck in IQ this last weekend, and I was lucky enough to play against a couple mono red decks, and it was not a very fun time. So if you are planning on playing this deck, be aware it is a little soft to mono red if it happens to start making a comeback, or if it's big in your area. You have to have a plan for it because it's not an easy match.
Yeah, it might be time to whip out those Archangel of Thunes.
Whew, Archangel of Thune.
Yep.
That goes right along with your Sky Knights. They get bigger.
It's true.
Perfect. So again, guys, thank you for stopping by and watching our video. Holidays are this weekend. New Year's coming up, so we're definitely excited to break in the new year with some more BBD versus CVM action. Make sure you let us know in the comments, things that you've liked that we've done so far this year, things that you would like to see different from us starting next year. We definitely take all that stuff into consideration and just love reading the feedback that everybody has for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, thanks for stopping by and watching this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.